Hi everyone. Will Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle end his ties with the royal family? Let's take a look at what we have here today. First of all, we've got the Prime Minister's father talking in an article and giving his take on Meghan Markle. It says the Prime Minister's father took a swipe at the Duchess of Sussex and said there's a cultural difference between British and American women. Prince Harry and his actress wife left the UK earlier this year and are currently searching for a home in Los Angeles, California, where Meghan was born. According to Johnson's, father of Boris, the Duchess of Sussex was the driving force behind their decision. Writing in Saga magazine, the 79-year-old said, "Whose decision was it, I wonder, to build a new life in North America? I can't help thinking that Meghan, as we must now call her, played a leading role here. Possibly this is down to a basic cultural difference between British women and their transatlantic counterparts." He drew a comparison between the couple and his own parents, Winifred and Irene, as he added, "I'm thinking of my mother, for example. After my father recovered from his war wounds, he decided to return to the West Country and became a farmer." There's a picture of Meghan and Harry during the coronavirus when they had the paps come out and take snaps of them delivering meals. Back to the article. My mother, who went to Cheltenham Ladies' College and Oxford University, and I imagined that she might marry a diplomat, spent her next 36 years in the old remote Exmoor farmhouse that I still have today. She took to heart the famous words in the Bible's Book of Ruth, "Whether thou goest, I will go, and whether thou lodgest, I will lodge." The Duchess of Sussex clearly has tremendous charm and talent, and I'm not sure that she gets great store by the Book of Ruth. You and your spouse can't both be in the driving seat. To adapt Princess Diana's famous saying, there's not always room for two people in this marriage. I think he meant three. He added, "Personally, I'm very sad to see them go. The charity work was fantastic, particularly the support that they gave to wildlife, conservation, and women's issues." In January, Meghan and Harry stunned the world when they announced they would be quitting their royal duties, becoming financially independent, and split their time between North America and England, which we all know that wasn't allowed to happen because the Queen said you can't be half in, half out. Since then, the couple have wound down their UK foundation and shut down their Buckingham Palace office. Well, that's his opinion, and I certainly believe that Meghan was the driving force in this, as well as I also believe that many other people around the world feel this just because of her actions. When they were sent on a 6-week hiatus, I believe that was because of breaking rules, royal protocol, and they were saying that it was probably exhaustion and they just needed time to get away. So the Queen gave them the 6 weeks, and then they were supposed to return and go to Sandringham, for the Queen's Christmas visits, and they said they did not want to go. We don't know for sure they were invited, but according to the articles online, they were. But anyway, I feel like that was the point where Meghan decided, she didn't want to do this. Everything she wanted to do, she was being told no, but she was also trying to reinvent the wheel, to modernize the monarchy, in her words, and to be able to pick and choose the patrons that she wanted to work with, and also to be able to say whatever she wanted to say, and just work with certain causes. I was looking online and I happened to notice that it looks like people are selling off different memorabilia of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. This was from Hello Magazine Collector's Edition from the Royal Wedding. And I wonder, just how did the photos get to Hello Magazine when, they didn't release any. So I'm wondering if they got paid for these. That might be another thing that she did too, is sold those to Hello Magazine. Here's someone else is selling 6 issues of Hello Magazine, where it's has either Meghan Markle and Prince Harry featured on each issue, and those are going for all 6 issues for $49. Another thing I saw, the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They're selling a magazine here for $16.99 of the wedding, the royal wedding, and I'm just wondering how they got pictures and so forth on especially the inside of the church, and if those were sold to different magazines. But the price was much higher, but as with all their memorabilia, the prices seem to be going down. We've all heard, and this is from TMZ, that Meghan and Harry purchased Mel Gibson's mansion, which we know that not to be true. TMZ has said Meghan and Harry didn't buy Mel Gibson's mansion, but they should. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry aren't moving to California just yet, or haven't purchased a house just yet, despite reports that they snapped up Mel Gibson's, one of his cribs. But from the looks of the place, they might want to reconsider. There were reports last week that the Sussexes bought Mel's $14.5 million mansion in Malibu. As you can see from the previous picture and other pictures I'm sure you've seen, it's spectacular. However, our real estate sources have confirmed that there has been no such deal. It is a 5-bedroom beast of a home with all the bells and whistles of prime real estate in LA, plus access to a private beach club. The house has gone on and off the market several times over the years. Now, we've heard of several places they may be. They could be renting this one by the week or the month and still looking for something, or they could be waiting until other jobs and money come in before they actually purchase one. An LA real estate agent reportedly posted last week on social media that they had sealed the deal, and then later that post had been removed. Showbiz cheat sheet. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's alleged tell-all book violates the most important royal family rule: never complain, never explain. This is the one by Omid Scobie and another female author that you've heard is going to be coming out, and it's been said that Meghan and Harry both participated in this and were sharing secrets, and I think it's freedom of Harry and Meghan escaping the royals. But Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, have been marching to the beat of their own drummer since the beginning. It all started with their highly unusual wedding celebration and continued right up until the moment they bid their roles as senior royals goodbye. Recent rumors of a tell-all books in the works should not come out as a shock to others. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have much in common with Princess Diana, in the fact that they use the media to kind of get their own version of their truths out. Meanwhile, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been doing an awful lot of complaining, like when they publicly voiced their disgust and unfair treatment by the press during their royal tour in South Africa. They took the matter further when they filed suit to sue the worst offenders. That is not how Queen Elizabeth deals with negative attention, though. There has been a long tradition in the British royal family of writing the criticism out and keeping your head down and taking the long view. Royal biographer Penny Junor told People, crises come and go, and people get criticized, often for 5 minutes, and then the media moves on. So this tell-all book what we're wondering could end the relationship with his family. I think this would make the Queen very upset, and she's doing similar to what Diana did. Plus, she's going after the press. This is gonna, hurt the relationship that the royal family has with the press as it is, and the way they've pick and choose who they're going to give information to, and how they've sent some of the a press release to the so-called tabloid papers saying that they would not work in communication with them and so forth, which if you're going to do that, let's face it, it's not something you have to announce. You just don't send them anything, and you weren't cooperating with them or the royal Roto. You just weren't cooperating with anyone. You had your certain picks of people that you wanted to give information to because they would write the story in a good light or very favorable for you, and you had your own press team around you anyway at events. This just goes back to when she was in Wilmington, and it said this. Some staff members aired their grievances about the new boss. I think it was much worse than what we realized, pointing to cultural miscommunications, which was the polite way of saying Meghan's abrupt. Brits mince pies, not words. Meghan's directness with the speaking to employees was something the high society wasn't used to. Word traveled throughout the royal woodwork that the disgruntled employees had given Meghan Markle an unflattering set of nicknames. The first, Duchess Difficult, and was rather self-explanatory. The second, Duchess Megain, was a comment on their perception that she always was looking out for number one. It was always about her. She wanted to get all the press. She wanted to get all the media. She wanted everything favorable for her. In falling in love with the prince, Meghan signed up for a life of luxury with limited control. For example, the wedding she had always fantasized about had to fit within the frame of royal etiquette. She never got to call all the shots as is typical of a bride. But there were things that she wanted to do that was outside of tradition. We all know that as you're part of the royal family, there is protocol that you have to follow, and I believe that they allowed Meghan to make many choices on her own, who would preside over it, and some of the musical groups and so forth that she had there. I just think that, she thought she would get free reign, but also, considering the fact that the royal family was paying for it, I don't think Meghan should have any complaints about it or be whining about what she did or didn't receive, and she should be grateful. Despite her attempts to rebrand her role as royal into something entirely unique, her reputation amongst the rest of the employees continued to suffer. Unnamed sources admitted it's commonly said the worst job in the palace is working for Meghan. I just can't imagine how she would be. Everything that she is a perfectionist, but there's a way you treat people and talk to them, and I feel like she treated her staff very poorly, as if they're just hired hands and just employees that just work for her, and there's a way to work with people that's more professional and in a respectful manner. I love the articles that come out from CCN. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shamelessly lied to the Queen. As Meghan Markle and Prince Harry fly to LA amid the coronavirus, which they're already there, it's clear to see that they've been lying to the royal family. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry fly from Canada to Los Angeles during the coronavirus pandemic. In a move that has reportedly stunned and horrified members of the royal family, Prince Harry and Meghan have taken baby Archie and flown from Canada to Los Angeles. And an Australian right now in their tweet below says, headline should read, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle so desperate for Hollywood celeb status that they have risked baby Archie's life to a move in coronavirus central in California. And then Dan Wooten on his radio show and in several of his tweets has now come out against them, saying that he sees through the lies and doesn't understand suing people and just all the things that they're doing, and everything's so contradictory to what they said they wanted to have. I think it's time we all acknowledge that breaking with the royal family wasn't about getting away from media scrutiny. True fans of the royal family called this a long time ago. Many were ridiculed for conspiracy theories and racism toward Meghan Markle for doing so. Yet they've all been proven correct. Almost all Meghan and Harry's claims to this point have been exposed for the lies that they are. The couple claimed they wish to leave the UK to escape from the media scrutiny, with Harry claiming in his quote, every single time I see a camera, every single time I hear a click, every single time I see a flash, it takes me straight back, end quote. Now I think about this, and knowing that your husband is saying this, I don't understand why Meghan would want him to go to Hollywood, where knowingly they would be in the limelight, especially if she got back into acting and going to public events, that he would have all of this around him and not the same type of protection that he had when he was in the royal family. I wonder how he's going to cope with the media scrutiny in Los Angeles. TMZ, anyone? If anything, the Americans have it worse than British celebrities. There are laws applied to the media in Europe that do not exist in the U.S. Just a couple of pictures there. And Meghan Markle suffers massive setback in the war against press and faces thousands in costs after judge throws out multiple claims against the Mail on Sunday and father's letter case. We all know that there was a pretrial hearing, and then the Chief Justice said that he would like to have a week or a little longer to decide what he was going to allow in the case going forward. He threw out 3/4 of Meghan's team's claims because they were just all over the place. And he said this case was originally about privacy, and so all the other articles pertain to other things, and she was trying to just throw anything out there and hoping that something would just stick, and and that it would show that they were all out to get her in her paranoid state that she's in. But they are going to move forward. The Mail on Sunday also gave them a chance to say, you want to settle out of court? Do we want to go forward? She said, no, we're going forward. She told her legal team that. And so now the Mail on Sunday has asked for, I believe it's $50,000 for their court for their professional attorney fees that they've incurred so far, and I think hers is about 60. So they've asked that she pay both up until now, since she was not willing to settle. So that's $110,000 in legal fees that she's acquired so far. I really don't think there's a chance, because now instead of all the other charges, it's just the privacy issue, and I believe the press has freedom of speech. She was in the royal family during this time, a member, so the public do have a right to know, plus the fact that she was being publicly funded at the time. I just don't think that she's going to win this, but the trial will either take place later this year or the beginning of 2021, and